The United Kingdom stopped being a member of the European Union on 31st January 2020. For quite a while now, we have been hearing the word Brexit often, and this video is to explain all about it. Brexit is an abbreviation for British exit. It refers to the United Kingdom leaving the European Union. The European Union is a group of 28 European countries that are tied by an economic and political alliance. This political understanding between these countries has led the way for the use of the currency euro and permits citizens in the European Union to travel and settle across borders without a passport. The European Union even employs its own parliament and makes decisions regarding things like trade, transportation, and environmental policy. The European Union allows the countries within it to function largely as a single entity. It was initially put in place to allow for the free movement of people, goods and money. In 1957, France, West Germany, Belgium, Italy, Luxembourg and the Netherlands signed the Treaty of Rome, which established the European Economic Community, shortly known as EEC, which is also known as the European Union today. United Kingdom waited 16 years to join it and finally did in 1973. But just 2 years later, in 1975, the United Kingdom held a referendum on the question whether UK should be a part of the EEC, and 67% voted yes. Tensions between the EEC and the UK exploded in 1984 when the Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, talked tough to reduce British payments to the EEC budget. At that time, the UK was the third poorest nation in the community, yet it was paying a lot more into the budget than other nations because farm subsidies made up to 70% of total EEC expenditures and UK had very little farms. Some people argued that UK should pull out from the European Economic Community. UK Prime Minister John Major's government almost fell in 1993 when some of his party's lawmakers voted against him for signing the treaty, which deepened cooperation and created the European Union. Britain was skeptic, and the same skepticism kept Britain from adopting the single currency when it was launched in 1999. The European Union then added 8 Eastern European countries in 2004, and this triggered a wave of immigration. In England and Wales, the number of foreign-born residents had grown up to 13.4% of the population by 2011, which is about twice the level in 1991. Migrants were attracted by Britain's economy, which was growing at twice the pace. The UK was the second biggest European Union country by the economic output and the third largest by population after Germany and France. There is still a queue of countries waiting to join the European Union, which meant that there will be more foreigners in the UK. For the people of the United Kingdom, it was never an easy fit, and because the free movement of citizens is a basic tenet of European Union law, leaving the bloc is the only sure way for the United Kingdom to stem the flow of people. A referendum was held in UK in June 2016, and they shocked the world by voting to leave the European Union, which they joined in 1973. They felt that the EU was expensive, out of touch, and a source of uncontrolled immigration. In that poll, 17.4 million people opted for Brexit. The decision to leave European Union was taken after the 2016 referendum. The vote's result affected global markets and caused the British pound value against the American dollar to fall to its lowest level in 30 years. Former UK Prime Minister David Cameron, who called the referendum and campaigned for the UK to remain in the EU, announced his resignation the following day. Theresa May, who replaced Cameron as leader of Conservative Party and the Prime Minister, failed 3 times to get the deal approved by the House of Commons after negotiating with the EU. She faced severe pressure to resign and step down as the party leader voluntarily on June 7, 2019. The following month, Boris Johnson, a former mayor of London, was elected Prime Minister. Johnson was a Brexit supporter. He campaigned that he was prepared to leave the European Union without a deal. UK and EU negotiators agreed on a new deal on October 2019. The main difference of this deal from the previous Prime Minister's deal was that the Irish backstop clause was replaced with a new arrangement. Now we should know what Ireland thought about Brexit. The United Kingdom is a state made up of England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. The Irish island is politically divided into two distinct regions, Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. Northern Ireland is recognized as a devolved government under a constitutional monarchy and therefore it is headed by the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. On the other hand, the Republic of Ireland is a parliamentary constitutional republic with its own head of state and government. Britain and Ireland had troubled relationship for several years. On 10th April 1998, something called the Good Friday Agreement was signed. This agreement helped to bring an end to a period of conflict in the region. The peace treaty brought 3 decades of troubles in Northern Ireland to an end and also brought in a new, healthier relationship between the Republic of Ireland and the United Kingdom. A key part of the Brexit negotiations has been the border that separates Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. The border is a matter of great political, security and diplomatic sensitivity in Ireland. At present, goods and services are traded between the two regions with few restrictions. That is because the United Kingdom and Ireland are part of the European Union's single market and customs union, so products do not need to be inspected for customs or standards. But after Brexit, all that could change and the two parts of Ireland could be in different customs and regulatory regimes. The preference of both sides is to prevent this happening through a deep and comprehensive trade deal. Therefore, the United Kingdom and European Union agreed that whatever happens as a result of Brexit, there should be no new physical checks or infrastructure at the border. Theresa May's deal was to leave the European Union but have an Irish backstop to ensure there would be no border posts or barriers between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland after Brexit. This would have kept UK in a close trading relationship with the European Union and avoid a hard border between the Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. But many MPs hated it. It was argued that UK could be trapped in the backstop for years, preventing the country from striking trade deals. The continuous opposition of the Parliament to the deal eventually led to Theresa May's resignation. Boris Johnson took a deal agreed by Theresa May with the European Union in November 2018. It replaces the controversial Irish backstop aspect of the plan in May's deal with new customs arrangements. It effectively creates a customs and regulatory border between Northern Ireland and Great Britain. This means some goods entering Northern Ireland from Great Britain would have to pay European Union tax. This would be refunded if goods remain in Northern Ireland and not move to the Republic of Ireland. This is what was different from Theresa May's deal. The UK was expected to leave the European Union by October 31, 2019, but the UK Parliament voted to force the government to seek an extension to the deadline and also delayed a vote on the new deal. Though UK has formally exited European Union, there is still a lot to talk about and months of negotiation that will follow. From Brexit Day, which was Jan 31, 2020 to 31st December 2020, UK will continue to follow all of the European Union's rules and its trading relationship will remain the same. This is known as the transition or implementation period. The transition period is meant to give both sides, UK and EU, some breathing space while a new free trade agreement is negotiated. A free trade agreement will allow goods to move around the European Union without checks or extra charges. If a new agreement is not made in time, then the UK will face the prospect of having to trade with no deal, which would mean taxes will be imposed on UK goods travelling to the European Union countries and other trade barriers. Aside from trade, many other aspects of the future UK-EU relationship will also need to be decided. For example, law enforcement, data sharing and security, aviation standards and safety, access to fishing waters, supplies of electricity and gas, licensing and regulation of medicines, etc. The UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson assures that the transition period will not be extended, but the European Commission has warned that the timetable will be extremely challenging. Those who were against Brexit were the British Prime Ministers David Cameron, John Major, Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, Bank of England Governor Mark Carney, and Barack Obama, former President of the United States. On the other hand, Boris Johnson, the present Prime Minister of UK, and Russian President Vladimir Putin favours the Brexit. As Britain is now free to do its own new trade deals with countries around the world, India is among the countries on the UK government's target list for a new post-Brexit trade campaign. Besides India, the other countries on the list include Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, Japan, Mexico, Singapore, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, UAE and USA. This is all to know about Brexit. Stay connected for more such information. This is Nisha PS.